with that, I'll go ahead and segue into our first speaker. So our first speaker is Simone Capitani, and he is a partner at Audio Modeling who also leads the user experience. And he has a lot of experience in the industry, and he had some fantastic ideas about accessibility. So he's here with us today to talk about some of his ideas around accessibility and musical instruments. And with that, I will hand it to you, Simone.
Thank you very much, Josh. Hello, everyone. I would like to thank you also for the opportunity to talk about accessibility. First of all, I would like to say that we recently started at Audio Modeling to work at accessibility. And what we are trying to do now is to open a discussion and sharing our first thoughts about what we have seen just starting recently. So if there are accessibility experts, don't kill me if you hear something that could sound a bit strange in terms of that lacks of experience. But as a user experience designer, I just realized and wrote down some ideas. And the goal today is also to start a discussion and also to continue the discussion with many people in the industry, and also having the possibility to meet for those who will come to the ADC in London at the accessibility booth, because we want to learn more accessibility and do more. So this is the goal of this discussion. And what I would like to discuss is the experience that we had introducing the compatibility with of our products with screen readers. And the question is here is if you want to use a screen reader, or do you need to use a screen reader? I mean, would you like to use a screen reader if you don't need to? Maybe not, because the experience of using any product with the use of a screen reader is not the best experience that you can have with a product. The screen reader is a great value, but it is a fix. So what we would like to discuss is to rethink the experience from the beginning, removing barriers as much as we can. So we don't want to add fixes, but we want to think about something that can be used by everyone, and that everyone could be happy to use. The example that I like to provide is the self-driving cars. A self-driving car can be used by people that can drive, cannot drive, or that have a driving license or not, I don't know, for any reason. Maybe you can usually drive a car, but sometimes you cannot drive, or you don't want to drive. And the experience is the same for people that can use the self-driving car because they cannot drive. But everyone has the same approach. So we should try to find a way to use music software, music products, in general, any kind of digital products with the same experience. If we think about the current technology, we have screen readers, voice commands, that are tools with a good value, but they are complex to use. They require training, they require expert skills, and they require a setup at the beginning. The idea is that if the current tools can help a lot of people that are in the expert condition, in the expert status, like if let's say when everyone of us is using a digital product, usually is for the most of the time is in the intermediate condition status. Then the more he or she uses a product, then you start to learn keyboard shortcuts, you learn deeper features, and then you go and you shift to the expert side. But this condition is not permanent. If you don't use the product for a while, you easily come back to the intermediate condition. Also, if the product receives updates, changes a little bit the UI, or changes a little bit the features, you need to learn a little bit more the product. So now actually the idea that we had facing the use of screen reader is that you need to develop a lot of skills, and you have a steep learning course. So we don't have, of course, the solution, and we don't. Maybe it would sound a bit ambitious, but the challenge is that we need to build an ecosystem that starts from the operating system, the development frameworks. By the way, you know, at audio modeling, we are using Juice for all our products development. Vocal system like Siri, Amazon, Alexa, Google. Vocal assistant can here we go with Alexa in my room. MIDI 2.0 as well can provide new tools for this kind of ecosystem. Also, API that can help digital products to provide information about the use of the products, musical information about what you play, and new products and new services that starts keeping in mind a different way and a different approach to build an experience that everyone can use. So we focused on visual impairments, disabilities, but there are so many reasons why anyone could not use a music product or any digital product. So we would like to start a discussion with the MI players to build maybe a working group, to start an activity to build not only products that are only accessible but inclusive, and create the same experience, almost the same experience for everyone. So basically, this is the idea that is bringing us to the ADC this year. We would like to discuss and speak about this topic. We want to learn more about the challenges. We know that people that are working on accessibility for many years could say, okay, here he comes with this with this speech, but there are a lot of problems to face. So we know that there is always a good reason because we are here at this status. But we think that we should at least try to think a little bit out of the box and start this process.
Thank you very much, Simone. That's fantastic. So, so can you give some, I'd be curious to hear some ideas on where you think the starting point for this would be for us, like in an ideal scenario, where do you think that
Yeah, well, we think that we should try to build a working group to discuss the best technology and to plan the step of an ambitious project. And only with people coming from the different companies in the MI, but also involving the big companies like Apple, like Google, that Microsoft, that can give their the operating system is the place where we build on top of that. So if we don't have the support and we don't have a discussion, so we would like to do that. Could you please provide us the tools to build this experience? We need to have the discussion with those companies, as well with the development framework that is also in the middle between the operating system and the developers. So I would say building a working group and try to work on a concept of the first experience. What we have in mind, I just mentioned the vocal assistants. So think about the possibility of building a project in a DAW without using the graphical user interface, but just using your voice and speaking in the most natural language, like you could do with another human in a studio, for example, to your sound engineer, to the producer, that you say, okay, I would like to make a song using an acoustic guitar and the bass and the drum, and then automatically will build a project in any kind of DAW with 3 tracks. And then you can say, okay, I would like to start with maybe a template with this chord progression, and then moving forward. With the use then of the AI, that will be more and more refined. So we could also reach the goals that we could not imagine. Like, let's say, could you make that sound a little bit brighter? A bright or dark sound is not a very accurate definition. So it would be extremely interesting, because people, when speak with humans, we know that make that sound a little bit brighter. So we could achieve that. We can try to move in that direction, working with machines.
I mean, it sounds very much, in my opinion, like an intersection with the work that's happening in the visual media creative space, where you look at something like DALL-E, where you're describing a behavior to an algorithm, and then what it's doing is it's giving you several responses, or it's giving you a response back. And so it sounds like what you're saying is that it would be great to see something like that for the happening in audio. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I think that it's difficult to reach that goal immediately, but maybe what we could do is to make let's say, the voice command a little bit more human, more friendly, with an easier way to learn that, how to use them and how to set up, let's say, voice command. So we have to imagine, we need to be on the same page with the vision, and then start prototyping and iterating.
Yeah. We had a question from the community from James Pike, who asks, what do you see are some of the current pain points for screen readers?
The screen readers are tools that we have to use because we don't have anything better than that. The problem is that I tried to use the screen reader, and I said that it's very difficult. It's not fair that someone has to use a product in that way. Of course, if you cannot use that, is amazing, because gives you the access to a product, to a feature, and can be extremely important. But now is not enough, because we have seen that there is a technology that is capable to do better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I answered the question.
Yeah, I think you have. And I was wondering, because if I remember correctly, audio modeling uses Juice. Have you had any time to check out the accessibility features in Juice? And I was just wondering what your experience with those has been so far, and areas that you thought were great and areas that you thought could be improved.
Yeah, well, I'm not the developer that worked on the accessibility feature of Juice, but I can say that when we started the process, also we provide feedbacks to the Juice team, asking new features, and also help and support to improve the experience. I cannot go into details because I'm not the right person, but of course at the ADC, Eleonora Dolif, that is our developer that also had the speech last year, will be there, and we will speak about technically how the Juice framework can help, or maybe not, the development of the accessibility feature. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great. So James just remarked on your response, and he said, "Is a translation between two different worlds, auditory to visual? I think I get what you're saying. I agree. If something were designed from the ground up, it would be much better."
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, if we think about the most constrained experience and design from that point of view, then it will be better. It's like when you design a product that is cross-platform. If you start from the most constrained system like an iPhone, and then you scale up, it's much easier to do that than starting from the desktop version and squeeze down.
Fantastic. And we actually got a comment just now from Scott, who says audio modeling's Juice accessibility implementation is covering good ground for screen reader users. So
Thank
some
you.
great compliments on what you've done so far in the area of accessibility. Fantastic job.
Thank you so much.
Great. Well, were there any other remarks that you wanted to make before we wrapped up? It looks like we have we don't have any other questions from our audience there.
Oh, well, as I said, I will be happy also to be in touch with anyone that has ideas. He wants to share vision, also issues. So we are open. We wanted to build a new experience. So it is just the beginning. So feel free to contact me and the team, Simone at audiomodeling.com or info at audiomodeling.com, and just let's start talking about that.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Simone.
Thank you.